Guys, it's me, Dottie, and hold on, I hope this doesn't slide off. I got my tablet sitting on my tripod. Hi, it's me, Dottie, and I'm here with Miss Addie. And I got her dressed, and I made a video for a tag, and I got choked up, and I had to stop, and then I said, okay, I'm going to redo it. So, y'all get to look at this beautiful little girl as I sit here, and, well, dadgummit, it's got one of those little things, you know, the little felt thing underneath it, but the magnet comes out, and it drives me crazy. Really, see, it pulls it out every time. I don't understand why it does that. I'm gonna have to fix it somehow. Anyways, alright, I'm going to do this Mother's Day tag. It has 10 questions plus a bonus question. And it's by Love Me Some Reborn Babies, Miss Shannon. And I adore her, and I adore her channel, and I adore her babies. And she's one of those women that I've never met, and I really don't talk to very often. But I feel like I know her. You know what I'm saying? She's, I don't know, I feel like I don't know. Anyways, moving on. I'm going to do this Mother's Day tag for her. Okay, it says, and when I do this tag, I'm going to kind of do different. I'm going to use my granny and my mom, because I lived with my granny most of my life. And my granny's not here, but some of these questions I can do it for my mom too. So I'm going to say my granny and my mom for this tag. Okay, number 1, using only one word, ask your mom if you can. Ask her if it's okay if you do this. And the question is, what is one word she would use to describe you as a child? And she told me loving. She told me when I was talking to her, she gave me 2 words. She said loving and happy. She said when I was a little girl, from the time I was born until I was about 8 years old, I lived with my mom, and then my dad remarried. But in that time, in that span, my mom said I was always a happy little girl. I was always loving. I did anything and everything. I loved everyone. I loved everything. She said I was just had that aura about me. And she said that all she could say in one word is I was a very loving child. So, now, I'm going to say this. This question is number 2. It said, were you a mama's boy or girl or a daddy's boy or girl? Now I'm a daddy's girl. But as growing up, I was a granny's baby. Granny's baby through and through. Every moment of my day, anytime I did anything, if I had spare time, I was with my granny. I loved her. I loved being around her. Alright, number 3. What is your favorite mom trick or mom hack that you learned from your mom? Well, like I said, I didn't really grow up with my mom, but I grew up with my granny, and my trick is, and hack, is my granny was such a sweet, loving person, but she was a good cook. So I learned all my cooking tricks and hacks from her. And I loved that she taught me how to cook. She taught me all the goodness, and if you see me, you see my belly, you see why I said she was a good cook. So I say my hack from my granny was cooking. Number 4. Does your mom know about your YouTube channel, and if so, does she watch it? Well, my granny's not alive, and if my granny was alive, I believe she would. But my mother is, and my mother does know about it, and she has watched it a few times. I don't know if she watches every video, but she does watch it from time to time. Number 5, what is a phrase or saying that your mom or always said or says? Okay. My granny had two. And sometimes when I leave a comment, I leave this very same phrase. Because she didn't believe in saying, oh my God. She just didn't. You just didn't say, oh my God, because she'd get upset if you said, oh my God. Because she said you were taking God's name in vain, and that was a no-no. So she would say, oh my gravy. She would say, oh my gravy, that's so cute. Or, oh my gravy, are you kidding me? You know, she would say that. Then the other thing was, she was a stickler on me and my sister about being a lady. You could not sit in her house Indian style at all, because girls did not sit Indian style. It was a few other things that we, you know, growing up was a big no-no, like how you ate. You didn't pick up a piece of meat and bite it. You cut it. It didn't matter what kind of meat. It didn't matter if it was chicken, pork chops, a chicken strip, whatever. You cut it. You cut your piece of pizza. She wasn't so hard about that, but she preferred us to use a fork or a knife to cut our pizza up. So when we would do something like that, she'd say, now is that what a lady does? And if I would say, shut up, or you are such a brat, she goes, all right, Dottie. She would say, is that what a lady does? So her two phrases was, oh my gravy, and is that what a lady does? So that's two of the things, yeah. Then, let's see, number 6, are you named after anyone special? Or how did your mom and dad come up with your name? Yes, I'm named after somebody special. I am named after my mother's grandmother, which is my mamaw, mamaw is my mom's mom. So I'm named after my great-grandmother, and her name was Dorothy Antoinette. And so that is my name, Dorothy Antoinette, and I go by Dottie. That is my nickname. So I was named after my great-grandmother. What is something special you and your mom always loved to do together? We loved to cook. Well, I would say me and my granny, no, it wasn't cooking really. It was cooking, but I really enjoyed doing her hair and makeup for her, especially Sunday mornings when we were getting ready for church. She'd be sitting there at her vanity in her camisole, and she would be putting on her jewelry and stuff, and I'd be standing there behind her, rolling her hair and fixing her hair, and then I'd help her. She'd let me do her makeup because she knew I was into makeup and hair. So that was something I really enjoyed. I absolutely enjoyed doing with her. And spending those girly times, like going and getting our nails done. Just spending time with her. So yeah, that's what it is. And then number 8, what is one of your favorite childhood memories of you and your mom? So my favorite childhood memories of me and my granny was, oh goodness, it left my head. Oh, it left my head. Okay, well, I'll say something about my mom this time. A favorite memory of me and my mom would be, okay, here's one. I live in South Alabama, and a lot of the storms that would come through get really heavy, and lightning and thundering. And when it would get like that, my mom would get really upset because my mom doesn't like bad weather. So she would take, and we would build us a little fort, and we would lay on pillows underneath the fort, and we would lay there and talk, and she would tell me these stories, and she would tell me these stories of her growing up, and we would just sit there in our little fort, and she would tell me about her growing up and playing on the dirt roads and being a little girl and all the neat things that they did and stuff like that. So that's a wonderful memory I had about just in those moments when the thunderstorm was really bad and the lightning and stuff, and you hear sirens going off because, you know, there could be potential tornadoes, and she would make a fort. We would get in the middle of the fort, and we would lay there with our flashlights, and she would tell me stories. She would tell me stories about growing up, and then she would tell me about when I was born, because, you know, when I was little, I loved to hear that. I loved to hear the story that she would tell about the night I was born, or morning, whatever you want to call it. So that is a very favorite memory that I share with my mom. Alright, number 9, did your mom wear a special perfume or fragrance that to this day, when you smell it, you were reminded of her? Instantly reminded of her. Actually, it was my granny, and her fragrance was Red Door by Estee Lauder. And yes, I'm going to cry. And this is what made me cry on my last video that made me stop. Whew. Many of you may know this, but I used to be a private home caregiver. I went and had patients and I would take care of. And one of the patients I took care of, her name was Barbara. And the very first night that I was taking care of her, I got her into bed, and when I went to lay her down in bed, I got that smell. And it was very comforting because I smelled my granny at that moment. And it was the most sweetest smell that I have been known to buy a little bottle, because you can get little bottles, and I'll squirt it in the air just to smell it. Yeah. That is one of the sweetest smells that I can be in a grocery store, and I know when that lady walks by me, it's Red Door. I know it. You just know. You just come to realize. And so that was my granny's fragrance. Okay, it says number 10, what is your favorite recipe dish that your mom makes or made when you were a child? Alright. My granny was a southern woman, and she made all these southern dishes. But my favorite thing that my granny would make, she would make buttermilk cat head biscuits. Oh, cat head biscuits and sausage gravy in a white milky sauce. What, you know, white milky gravy sausage. Oh my gosh, biscuits and gravy. You could slap your mama. It was so good. Oh my goodness, it was such a good meal. And I loved her cat head biscuits. Oh, it didn't matter if they were cold, hot, or whatever. You come in there and you put just a little bit of strawberry preserves on it, or raspberry preserves, and a little bit of butter. Oh, heat that little joker up in the microwave. It was so good. So good. I still cannot make biscuits like my granny. At all. I cannot make a biscuit to save my life. But I'm a good cook. But that's one of the things I cannot cook is a biscuit. So my favorite dish that my granny made was cat head buttermilk biscuits and sausage gravy. And the bonus question, it's number 11. If money was not an issue and you could buy or give your mother anything in the world to show her love and appreciation on Mother's Day this year, what would that gift be to her? Money was no object. First, I would build her a home. My mom lives in a 2-bedroom with my stepdad, an old trailer that's, you know, not in the best shape. So I would build my mother her dream home, which she wants a home with a wraparound porch. But she wants one of them old houses. Them old houses with the, like, 16, 20-foot ceilings, you know. The old Victorian back in the back, you know, old days. She wants one of them old houses with a wraparound porch on it. And I would have somebody build her one like that. Then I would do is pay for a week vacation for every one of her children and grandchildren and her and my stepdad to go to Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, one of them places, and get a cabin and do all the sightseeing that she wants, go to Dollywood like she wants, and just spoil her rotten for a week in Tennessee doing exactly what she wants, just spending time with her and her kids. So, those are my answers, and I hope if this is not too long and they made sense to y'all, but I hope so. And Shannon, thank you for doing this tag. It was great thinking about all the memories and all the good stuff about my nanny. And my granny. I call her nanny, granny. Sometimes it depends on my mood. So, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And I hope everyone joins in on this tag. Y'all go check out her channel. I will link this video or her video in the bottom in my description, so y'all can go and watch her video and get her answers. And then she has all the questions underneath her video, so you can participate if you want to. So, without further ado, I'm going to say bye. And this is Miss Addie. And I did surgery on her, if I didn't tell y'all in the beginning. I took her head off, I know that sounds horrible, and restuffed her because I didn't have her stuffed right. So now she's stuffed right and she looks adorable. So, y'all have a wonderful Thursday, and yeah, bye guys.